If like me, you thought that these ecloths were only good for cleaning things like glass and mirrors, today you are in for a treat because I'm giving you 10 hacks of how to use this that have nothing to do with glass or mirrors. And the 5th hack even surprised me. Before we start, what makes ecloths any different from a paper towel or any kind of microfiber cloth? Well, ecloths are made from millions of tiny little fibers that attract and trap dirt. And I think the most alluring thing about ecloths is that you need absolutely zero chemicals to clean 99% of bacteria. All you need is simply water and this cloth. The cool thing with these cloths is that you can use them hundreds of times. You don't need any chemicals, you simply need water, and they are more eco-friendly than things like a paper towel and also more durable than regular cloth. Okay, so the very first hack for these ecloths that I found to be amazing in my home is to clean up beard trimmings. If there's a man in your home, you know that no matter how diligent they are, somehow after they trim their beard or shave, there's always hair trimmings in the sink. Now, the problem with cleaning these up with a regular cloth is that a lot of the times the cloth holds on to the little hairs. So every time you try to go and clean with a regular rag or cloth, those little hairs slide around absolutely everywhere. Now, yes, you can go ahead and clean off all of these hairs using a regular washcloth. However, what I have found is that when I go to rinse off my regular washcloth, the hairs and the little fibers stick to the washcloth and it's really hard to get out. And then when I rinse that washcloth and then go back into the sink, those little fibers start to get all over the area that I just wiped. However, because of the material that this ecloth is made out of, none of the hair fibers stick onto the cloth. So when I go to rinse this in the sink, all of the little tiny hairs that were on this cloth go down the drain and they don't stick to the cloth, so that when I go to re-wipe a surface again, I'm not getting that residual clipping back onto that spot where I just cleaned. Okay, now this brings me on to my 2nd hack. Again, because of the material that this is and because hair, dirt, lint, nothing stick to this. This works so well to remove pet hair off of your furniture, off of your fabrics, off of upholstery, chairs. This is like a magic lint roller and it's so easy to use. You simply get one of these cloths slightly damp and then taking the rougher side of the fabric, you're going to glide this along your upholstery just a couple of times. And you're going to see how quickly all of the hair starts to peel onto the surface of this fabric. And there's no need to whip out your lint roller. There's no need to get any of those sticky sheets or to lug out your vacuum because you simply need a damp ecloth. And this is going to get all of that fuzz, all of that lint hair and pet hair off of your fabric and chairs. And then you can just go ahead and rinse this in the water and it's clean and ready to use again. All right, the 3rd hack that I found has been so cool for this ecloth is to use it as a makeup brush cleaner. I know we have all seen those little silicone trays that they sell where you can take your makeup brush, put a little bit of soap on there and swirl it around and get those makeup brushes clean. But you can use this ecloth to do exactly the same thing. So what I like to do is I like to get this ecloth a little bit damp. I like to pump in the cleaner or like the shampoo that I'm going to use to clean my brushes with. And then I go ahead and I get that brush wet. I apply it onto the wet ecloth and I swirl it around. Again, using that textured side of the cloth, this is going to get into every little groove of those brush hairs and it's going to get out all of the makeup, all of that face oil, everything that's in there. This is going to pick it up so well and is going to get all of that debris out of your makeup brushes. And the nice thing is that you can toss this into the wash after you're done and you don't need to store bigger, bulkier items because this folds flat and you can store it absolutely anywhere. All right, this 4th hack was an accidental discovery, but I've been using this ecloth to polish my wedding ring. Now, all you need to get your jewelry clean is to take the jewelry that you would like to clean. And bonus tip, if you do have a coffee machine that has a frother and has a steam wand, I like to use my steam wand to really get that jewelry clean. So I will place that jewelry onto a napkin or in a cup and I will use that little steam wand. I will steam my jewelry first and then I will take this ecloth and I will just go ahead and I will polish up the stone, the band, the entire piece of jewelry, and it polishes it up so well. It becomes so sparkly, so shiny. I didn't have to put it into any kind of chemicals. I didn't have to drive down to my jeweler. I did it at home within a few seconds. All right, moving on to the next hack. I also love to use my ecloth to polish my glasses as well as any of my camera equipment, my phone cameras, anything that has a lens and really needs to get polished. This is probably the best eyeglass polisher I have ever found. It does not leave any streaks. If you have sunglasses, I want you to take one side of the glasses and polish it with any kind of cloth that you may like, and then take the other side and polish it with this ecloth right here. You will see absolutely zero streaks, zero smudges, and if anything, it prevents future smudging or fogging of your eyeglasses. Okay, this next one is probably going to be a little bit controversial, but I would not be scared to try this out. Did you know that you can use this as a makeup remover wipe? At first I was like, absolutely not. This is so harsh. This is going to like scratch up your face. But you guys, this is so gentle and it gets off all my mascara, all of my eyeshadow. This is so much better than sitting there and scrubbing my face. And if you have very sensitive skin and there's nothing that you can really use on your face as far as like face wash or maybe makeup removers, you only need water. This gets off all of your makeup just with water alone. And it is actually so incredibly sensitive on your skin, and it doesn't pull, it doesn't tug. It like somehow just like grips onto everything, and it's just a mild exfoliator as well. Okay, polishing stainless steel is a pain. Let's all admit that. You can use all the chemicals you want. You can use all kinds of fancy rags and microfiber cloths, but after discovering this, you truly do only need water for this. My refrigerator is a fingerprint magnet. There's kids in and out of that refrigerator all day long, and I've tried many different solutions, and yes, it will look clean for like 15-20 minutes, but as soon as one person, including myself, goes to touch the handle, the door, the smudges are there, and I don't necessarily always want to take out the cleaner and spray it and have to inhale it. This, all you need is water, and you literally just take, first of all, I start with the side that is a little bit more bumpy. That will pick up any kind of dirt, any smudges, anything that's like grimy and stuck on. And then for my second pass, I will use the softer side to just polish and buff the refrigerator or any kind of stainless steel appliances. This does such a great job. It does not leave streaks. When I tell you this is, I don't know what's in here, but it just doesn't leave streaks. This has been the best stainless steel polisher that I have found. Okay, now moving on to the next hack. Yes, stainless steel appliances are important to polish to make them look good, but if you have guests over who might be a little picky, or maybe it's you, but like to hold up a fork up to the light before they eat out of it, figuratively speaking, this is such a great polisher for any kind of silverware. If you have forks and spoons that tend to smudge, maybe they are the gold kind or super shiny and reflective, they tend to show fingerprints. So if you are getting them out of your dishwasher, let's say, and maybe they're clean, but as you're picking them up and you're putting them into your silverware drawer, you get like fingerprints on them. This tool right here, a couple little swipes on your silverware, they will look so polished and shiny, but not only that, this actually prevents fingerprints from getting onto the silverware as easily. Now, I personally hate hard water stains on any kind of our faucets. So this right here, if you have chrome finishes, nickel finishes, even those faucets that are like black and matte and they show absolutely everything, every water stain, every fingerprint, this right here, because this is such a thin fabric, what I love to do is I will literally get in between the faucets and I will floss. Like I will literally floss between the faucet handles, the tops, those little nooks and crannies that no brush can get into, my hand can't get into, the sponges can't get into. This is like a little fluid napkin and it gets into every crevice. Again, I don't need any chemicals. I only need this, and sometimes I don't even need water. I just use this dry. It polishes everything up so beautifully. And the last little surprising hack for how I like to use my ecloths, and that's to make my plant leaves shine and sparkle in the sun. This is such a gentle tool to use on your plants. So if you have a monstera plant, maybe a fiddle leaf, something that has those big leaves, this is so nice to go around and just to dust those leaves. Not only is this going to improve the photosynthesis of your plant, it's going to make those leaves shine and look polished and pop out more. Well, there you have it. If you thought that these ecloths were only good for glass and mirrors, think again. I hope you'll give some of these hacks a try. Let me know if you're brave enough to try this on your skin or not. They're so easy to take care of. I can use this for hundreds of times, and the fact that there's so much versatility in them, it's not just for your glass or mirrors. I can literally use this all over my house, and there's probably way more uses to these than I even mentioned. So if you have a use for these ecloths other than what I mentioned, would you leave it down in the comments down below? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, subscribing. I'll see you guys in my next one.